Godzilla, the 2014 version, is directed by Gareth Edwards and stars Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ken Watanabe, Elizabeth Olsen, and is the official US remake of the fire-breathing monster, Godzilla. And it's the first movie to kick off Warner Brothers' monster universe, Godzilla, King Kong universe. I don't know what it's officially called, actually. So I know this video is coming out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't talk about reviewing this movie, and I really didn't have any plans to review this movie or the other monster movies leading up to Godzilla vs. Kong. But I decided to review these movies because I was going to go see Godzilla vs. Kong the week it premiered. But I wanted to see it with a friend of mine, and he can't go see it until that following week it comes out. So I thought to myself, well, I can either go see it by myself and then go see it with him a second time, or I could take this as an opportunity to review Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters just to get more content on my channel. So I took that route, and thus, here we are, Godzilla review. Plus, I think it's a perfect time to talk about this movie, not just because Godzilla vs. Kong is coming out in a week, but because the 2014 film just got released on 4K, and I watched it last night, and now I'm in the mood to talk about it. I remember when this movie came out, it was huge. Everyone was talking about this movie. Everybody was seeing this movie in theaters. I literally couldn't go on Facebook or really talk to anybody without someone mentioning the new Godzilla movie that's coming out. I was even planning on seeing it in theaters, but I ended up not seeing it in theaters, and I ended up getting the Blu-ray back when it came out, and it took me a couple of years before I actually watched the movie. I think it was like 2016, like 2 years after the movie first came out, where I finally sat down and watched it. But yeah, needless to say, this movie was really big when it came out. And I really liked the movie back when I first saw it too, so rewatching the movie last night, I was curious on how well the movie would hold up now that people have expressed their criticisms towards this movie. It's been a number of years since it's been out. We've had Godzilla vs. Kong coming out, we have Kong Skull Island that came out, Godzilla King of the Monsters that came out. I was curious on how well this movie would hold up after a number of years of not seeing it. And after watching it again last night, I still really like this movie. In fact, when it was over, I thought to myself, you know, a lot of people have expressed a lot of hate towards this movie. A lot of hate. And I can understand some of the criticisms, which I'll get into later, but I don't understand how people really hate this movie as much as they do. I can understand some of the criticism, sure, which let's get into the big criticism that this movie has just to get it out of the way. The biggest criticism that this movie has is that ever since the movie came out, people have been complaining that there's not enough Godzilla in this movie, which is true. He's not in the movie as much as people thought he would be. Which bothered me a little bit back when I first saw the movie, but after thinking about it all these years later and rewatching the movie again, I think it kind of works not fully showing him with all this destruction, you know, and that being the entire movie. Like another Godzilla movie, which we'll get into later. They took the Jaws route with this movie. With Jaws, it didn't show the shark too much because the mechanical shark didn't work properly, and so they limited how much you actually saw the shark, which ended up being very effective because it's more terrifying what you can't see and it's attacking people than what you can see. And I may be in the minority with this, but I think it was very effective in this movie. By the time the movie ended and we got the awesome third act with Godzilla, I thought to myself, yeah, I can understand why people wanted to see more of Godzilla, but I thought it was handled better this way. I don't know. Is there anyone else that thinks that way too? Or am I just in the 1% minority that thinks that? What we get a lot of in this movie are the human characters. Bryan Cranston's character, Ken Watanabe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, somewhat of Elizabeth Olsen. She's not in the movie as much as I remember her being. But of course everyone has expressed their disappointment and hatred. Oh, we just follow the people in this movie. We don't see Godzilla kicking ass. Here's the thing though. When you have a movie about a giant monster that destroys cities and causes a lot of destruction, it's helpful to have human characters along there with you to, number one, give you the exposition dialogue that is needed, and to actually care about humans when all this destruction happens because you feel like you're actually there in the action with them. Take the first Jurassic Park movie, for example. Yes, we do get all the dinosaur goodness in Jurassic Park, but it's more impactful when all that stuff happens because we're following a group of characters that we got to know, that were fleshed out, and we liked them. The dinosaur stuff would be cool for a while to see, but just having that would have been too tedious, really repetitive and kind of boring after a while. At least in my opinion. You kind of need characters to root for, to like, and to get behind, because when all this stuff happens to them, it leaves more of an emotional impact for you. And I liked all the characters in this movie. I liked Bryan Cranston's character. I really like Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's actually one of my favorite actors working today. He's a terrific actor, and he's great in this movie. Ken Watanabe, I liked him in this movie too, and even Elizabeth Olsen. She's not in the movie as much as I remember her being, but when she's there, she does give a very likable presence, and that's because she's a likable actress. And Gareth Edwards' direction in this movie. This is a very well-directed movie, as well as a great-looking movie. The size and scope of this whole movie is huge. The CGI, my God, the CGI hasn't aged at all. It still holds up incredibly well. Godzilla himself, I'm not sure. I actually didn't look into the behind-the-scenes stuff, so I don't know what of Godzilla was animatronic and what was CGI, but no matter what the case is, it still blends in pretty well all these years later. And you can see while watching this movie that Gareth Edwards really borrowed inspiration from Jaws and Jurassic Park, because there's quite a bit of elements in this movie that are either taken right from Jurassic Park or feel heavily inspired by. It's not like big stuff, but it's just like a couple little things here and there. Now when Godzilla does do all this fighting, and we do get to see it, it's great, it's intense, it's epic. I don't like to use epic all that much, but it's true, it's epic. It was really cool to see that, and it left an impact on me. And it wouldn't have left an impact on me if we didn't have these characters here. And even though I like the characters, I will admit, yeah, these aren't amazing characters that are 100% memorable, that rival characters in like the other movies I mentioned, Jaws and Jurassic Park, but they're well fleshed out enough to where you do care, and to where it does leave an impact on you. And I thought it was handled very well. I don't know, a lot of people don't like this movie, but rewatching it last night, I was surprised on how much this movie held up and how much I really enjoyed it. It's action-packed, it's got good emotion, it's got good characters, it's got a good story, it's got great effects, and great music. I forgot to mention, the score for this movie is excellent. I was kind of humming it when I was going to bed last night, because it was a pretty good score. Yeah, I don't know what's to hate about this movie. I really enjoyed it. I think Godzilla 2014 is a definite Blu-ray purchase. The film just came out on 4K, and the 4K looks incredible. This is one of my favorite 4K transfers. There's not a single thing that looked too dark or looked too exposed. It all blended in very well as the sound. It's a great sounding movie too, especially when you turn up your sound bar really high like I did. So guys, let me know in the comment section what you thought of the 2014 Godzilla movie, and besides the original Godzilla movie, which Godzilla is your favorite? There's a lot to choose from, so I don't know how difficult that would be for some people. But whatever your thoughts on all of it is, let me know down in the comment section. And just like always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will be reviewing Kong Skull Island as well as Godzilla King of the Monsters before King Kong vs. Godzilla comes out. Got a lot of videos lined up, and I just added 2 more for me to do. But you know what? It'll keep me busy on this channel, so look forward to all that very soon. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe right here if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time.